I have some very sad news for all of you, and that is that Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
This VR experience transports you to Memphis during the Civil Rights Movement. It's called I Am a Man, and it's developed by NC State University Assistant Professor Dr. Derek Ham. The experience involves a series of short vignettes set during the 1968 Sanitation Workers Strike. The Memphis Sanitation Force at the time was mostly black and given the lowest paying jobs and were refused equal workers' rights. The VR experience gets its name from the iconic signs that protesters held in the streets.
I Am a Man was a slogan that was used and actually printed out on protest signs of these sanitation workers in Memphis who were protesting, wanting better pay, wanting equal rights on the job force. And that was the thing that brought Dr. King down to Memphis in the first place, to support these men right before, of course, the tragic end of his life in the assassination at the Lorraine Motel.
Sometimes, you would get threats, go back to work and this kind of thing. Because it's all the same thing, They were saying our strike was illegal, but all they were saying, segregation and this kind of thing. All it means is a man is not a man.
Those simple words, right, still made people very upset. You have to kind of take a step back and wonder, and even be reflective about even Black Lives Matter movement. They can call horrible names, all these thugs and these people and this, and like really, all they're really saying is Black Lives Matter. They're not saying your life doesn't matter. You look back at I Am a Man, and there were still people who pushed against these workers and were angry. That shows that there's something that's seriously wrong with America still.
The VR experience also lets you witness those protests up close. The experience is narrated using actual recordings of one of the sanitation workers, Taylor Rogers.
Well, they didn't have any white sanitation workers. They dealt with the bulldozers and those big cranes and things.
I'm thinking about today, 2018, how much of it would still work today. A bunch of men coming together saying, we care about something and we're going to take action. I want to take a knee during the anthem. Oh, it's outrage, it's crazy. Any protest is going to disrupt people, and they're going to make a group of people upset. So at a certain point, you just have to keep plowing, and you have to keep letting your voices be heard, and we have to keep creating content to retell their stories and to empower next generations.
The 15-minute experience also features archival footage and photos that the players can interact with up close.
But it'd be great for the person, the non-Black VR user, to look and realize they're talking about me. I think that's a game changer. Instead of it just always being about, oh, they're talking about someone else.
Well, it's just not the things we're used to down here. I mean, they come in and they sit down, and we're not used to them sitting down beside us, because I wasn't raised with them.
I want to basically pull you into a mind trip. Having hands, African-American hands, if you're non-Black, that starts to temporarily disrupt your perception about the world. Even when I've seen testers who are Black and testers who aren't Black, some of the ones who are Black took for granted that they had Black hands. They're like, oh yeah, it's no big deal. And I'm like, that's interesting. If you're non-Black and you try that on, your mind has flipped over. In a similar way, when I try a VR experience and I have white hands, I've tried several experiences. It's like, oh man, I have this white dude's hands, okay.
The Sanitation Workers Strike also attracted Martin Luther King Jr. to Memphis to help organize meetings and protests. It's also where he would be assassinated, on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel, where the experience takes you moments before it happened.
This was new for me, dealing with a story like this. My first iterations of it, which no one will ever see, actually allowed you to see the entire moment. And what happened for me as a developer, it was messing my mind up a little bit. I've obviously shifted away from explicitly letting you see it. I'm frankly not sure if we're ready to see certain things that have happened in our history. And you start to wonder, is VR ready to be that explicit? I think it might in someday in the future, but remember, I'm thinking about the majority of the people who will try my experience. A lot of them, they'll still be newbies. And then it was the shot that I began to focus on, that using that spatial audio to like give you that jarring effect, even in the blackness of the scene where it fades out.
The VR experience also grants the viewer access to the inside of Dr. King's hotel room that gives you a look inside what is normally preserved behind a glass barrier in real life.
I dare ask, could we recreate sacred spaces in VR? And that's my attempt to do so. So it's like, here you are, transported in time, transported in space as a kind of a place to even pay your respects to this great man.
Dr. Ham says the experience is set for an April release, and there are also plans to feature it within the Civil Rights Museum in Memphis and what used to be the Lorraine Motel.
I see my piece as hopefully something that honors those workers, but then also lets the next generation become reflective and empowered to say, yes, there's still a lot of work to be done, but I take some courage. But beyond that, let that storyline kind of take heart and let hopefully move people.